Right, hello there folks, it's Easter Monday, 10th of April. I actually looked at the date today and we're on the final radio of box 228. I think it's Chris's radios, so you can come and collect if we can sort this one out today. So we did one radio from box 29, which was the Colt 295A, that was my own set, and there's another thing to be done out of box 29. So box 29, the second item, is one of those Taiwanese power supplies that got banned over safety issues. We'll be rebuilding that, so that'll be the next video. Right, so realistic 1001, we've done 3 in the last 3 weeks, so I've kind of, that's why I did the Colt first, because sure people can get fed up seeing the same thing. Originally we only ever planned to do one video of each type of radio, but people have asked for them because they're different faults, and I accept that. Now this gentleman worked at Tandy's. So we've got the instruction book in this one. So it tells you didn't get a circuit, you got a block diagram. It tells you about the 211172 microphone. It's not a speaker mic, it's just a microphone. It tells you about aerials, it tells you about the mono headset they did, those lovely 21549 speakers, or the power horn which they did. And of course it tells you about the 10 AA batteries, rechargeables, or 8 rechargeable, 8 throwaway batteries, and 12 point something volts, isn't it, this? So it's nice for him to have got that. We do have a scan of a first generation copy on hand. He's not got the carrying case with this, he's got the dummy batteries, and they're unusual, the Tandy dummy batteries. Look, they're a die cast moulding, so you don't often see those. Right, we'll put the polystyrene, as we would call it. So that's one of the bungs, which is, these are usually pretty difficult to work with at this age. It's the charging one, which is the one which has popped out. It will be taking that one out to power it up. Yeah, they've come away. The strap has never been assembled. Unbelievable. Does that mean it's like new? I'll just run over the battery contacts. So we don't check these on batteries. As a trade supplier, we expect customers to be able to sort their own battery snags out. Date code gives us 1983, doesn't it? So this is very late, because they're 1981 set, so it will be the later version with the adjustable power inside. Do the serial number. So remember, it's basically the same chassis as the one that came after, the TRC1005, but this is a little bit more reliable, although it's, both of them suffer from dry joints between the two sides of the printed circuit board, and so I'll address that anyway, whether the set works or not. So we can never get a proper reading because the external aerial socket is so lossy. Well, it is on receive anyway. So we had this issue with the last one of these, trying to get this antenna socket open, I'll have to do the same again. So use that plastic bag so we don't mar the finish, and see whether we can, yeah, lift that. It's going to snap off, I'm sure. Yeah, it has. Right, so we need access to all these. Put that on high power, and trusting with it being looking like a new old stock set that the aerial's in one piece, which it is. Excellent. So we have it's the same car lead that Mr. Chippy made. Once again, I've got my eye on the time. I've got half an hour at this point. Plug that into there. That one's away as well. I'll be doing most of the thing on external mic because it's more convenient for me. Power supply on, 12.4 volts. And why have we nothing? Because it's one of those cigarette lighter plugs. So you've got a battery meter and a relative RF meter. That isn't an S meter at any point. I need the adapter. And we'll get it connected up to the aerial sockets. We have a Unidem base station coming in about 10 boxes time, so that's probably going to be towards the end of next week. For people who like, somebody asked me, have you got any base stations in? The answer is yes. So I'll switch picture in picture on. Yes, we're in the right position. Are we on the right meter? You see, I press these buttons on this remote, but the remote receiver doesn't always see them, and that's another frustrating situation. Okay, let's press transmit. I'll go on the 3-watt scale, and it's transmitting at exactly 2.5 watts. So these are a 3.5 watt radio. It's not a 4-watt radio. It doesn't make any difference, because that half watt's not going to give you any more range unless it's about 6 inches, and it's going to draw a lot more current in not giving you more range, which is why they've plumped on that. So let's go to channel 40. It's nice that you can tell this is like new, because the tactile switch in there is still pressing properly and hasn't lost its springiness. So on channel 40 we've got 2.4 watts. And on channel 1 we've probably got a bit more, because it's easier to generate the lower frequencies. I've got 2.5. I could even say 2.5 and a tiny bit. On low power, which we'd like to be 400 milliwatts, it's 110 milliwatts. And the current on normal power, to be honest, I'll go back to that test because it's still 110 milliwatts because I was on the wrong channel. So back to channel 20, high power, the current is 744 milliamps. Just for the record, it's drawing 12.5 milliamps on standby at the moment. If I put the display on, oh sorry, I have 12.5 volts. Start again. At the moment it's drawing 57 milliamps on standby. If I put the display on, that rises to 130 milliamps. So it's very efficient of it to drop off on a timer. Let's look at the deviation. Wallow. It's about 1.7. And the frequency, oh, I put it in the wrong box, what a fool. We're only going to do the VCO if we have to do the VCO. because we do have an extra fee for that. Go over to the frequency counter, and we've got 2779096. So that's not stupidly out. It's not even enough to be noticeably out, but we'll pull it up anyway. And on receive, we're not going to get good readings because of the lossiness of the adapters. So take this with a pinch of salt. It's a matter of whether we get an improvement. So I've set that to about the same as the transmit. Let's go over to the synad meter. I need to hold on to the range boost side panels, don't I? So right now, for 12 dB, it is 3.5 microvolts. For 10 dB, it is 2.3. For 20, it does actually do it, it's 10. Squelch threshold, maximum squelch. It's 25 microvolts. And minimum set threshold on the radio. It's 2.5 microvolts. So you've got to take this with a pinch of salt. So the RF meter is not adjustable. I'll just check it's working. It is. It doesn't have an S meter. It doesn't have a meter lamp. The switches and pots work fine. I've not tried all the sockets. That doesn't have that. And the built-in mic works. And we haven't heard the built-in speaker yet. So that's gone through quite a few things. So basically it is working. It's working fine. We just need to optimize it for the customer. Oh, out you come. There we are. I'm going to unsolder the speaker so we don't snap any tags off. And there's no dry joints, but we're going to go through the dry joints because it's something which is a problem on these radios. Just before that, I'm going to set the deviation, because in recent days the deviation meter has played up on this test set, and it isn't playing up at the moment. Oh, there we are. Wallow. Good. Right. Goes to that meter. That's the deviation. Wallow. See if we can just do that a little bit more. Got funny AGC on these sets. Wallow. Now we need to check that with an external mic. I'll just get an external mic. Carefully take that cover off, which is going to snap off its thing because that's exactly what's going to happen. Wallow. It's a little bit high now. Wallow. Bring back the oscillator. Wallow. That's it. So from now on we do everything else on the external mic. It makes it easier. So I'm going to go through this for dry joint. So switch it off. You've seen me do this before, so I'll come back to the video when I've done it. Right, let's get on with doing the frequency on this. So into transmit. And it's the trimmer here, which is a really nice high quality one. Let's show the frequency counter. There we are, 79126. Switch off. Attempt to put the screen plate back on. There we are. Right, we need the service manual. So we're going to use the 1005 because it's handy. So it's L5 T6 T78. So L5 T678. So go back to the main meter. So I've got to scrape away some of this paint. That one's moving. That one's moving. I think we need to go up to the next size. See whether it moves now. Someone did say you could start these off with an Allen key, but you then got to be tempted not to try and turn them with the it's in transmit with an Allen key. Right. So we've got a peak now there. Still at 2.5. Now why can't I get the tool in there? Right. I'll just check these two. And then the power preset. So we're at 3.3 watts. And that's where we're going to be. Let's see whether we've got any improvement on that. Right, so we've no advance on 3.3. I'd like it to be within 0.1 on the other channels. So on channel 40, 3.2, and on channel 1, got 3.1. Right, so going back to channel 20, current consumption is now 917 milliamps. And low power is now 125 milliwatts. We've already done deviation, that's 2.2 to 2.5. We're not doing that. So when we look at the service manual, it's supposed to be 3 to 4 watts, preferably 3.5. We've got it at 3.3, and low power is supposed to be 0.1 to 0.4 watts, and we've got it at 0.225. So power consumption must be less than 1,000 milliamps, which it is. So we are on the money there. Right, so now we'll go on to receive. to a big signal, put the appropriate camera on, and we find that that coil there will be the detector. Transformer 4. Yep. So let's see whether it's anywhere near. Absolutely spot on as it was. I can hear thunder outside. So our tune-up, if I recall, is 1, 2 and 3. I'll just check with the service manual before we mess it up. It's transformers 1, 2, 3 and 5. So 1, 2, 3 and 5. That is done with the spectrum analyzer on transmit. We're not touching it. It's the 56 meg trap. Let's go to the synad and drop the signal to about 4 dB. Tune for maximum. A little bit there we've gained. And a little bit there. So we're not going to be much different from where we were, if at all. So new reading. So for 12 dB, it is... Oh, we'll hold on to the range boost side panels, haven't I? It's now 2.9. For 10 dB, I really look to take it down a scale. It's 2.2. And for 20, it's 3. No, it's not. It's 9.5. So once again, the swell shouldn't have altered. So we'll set threshold, do it that way around first. See when it comes in. 2.3. And where maximum is. Sorry, 29. Right, so I say that's no true thing because of the lossiness of the connectors. So sockets we've used work. The only one we've not tested is the charge socket. So that's going to work very nicely. Put the speaker back on. And scratchy corner, here we come. And that makes box 28 ready for collection. Just check the speaker works. It does. So we'll tick that final one off. Put the screws back in. Here comes that rain. Get this video finished before I can't hear myself think. Right, so we'll disconnect the test equipment. Put the aerial on instead. And we're not likely to hear anybody as we flick round the channels. Oh, we can. 19 Roger. Right, there you have it. Yet another realistic TRC1001. This one immaculate in a box. So we'll look forward to the on-the-air test this evening at 7:30 with Mr. Chippy. Thank you for watching.